Please help me welcome our speaker tonight, Robi from South Jersey.
Hey guys. I love how excited you guys get here. I haven't been here in a minute. I hate the microphone so much. Like, can you still hear me if I'm like over here a little bit? And I'm still on your recording, right? If I'm not right there. I love how much you guys love like Michael for coming up here. Like, that's so good. I'm like, they like Michael more than me already. I like that. I think they came for him in the set-aside prayer. Which is kind of why I like love this group. I haven't been here in, gosh, I don't know, a couple years. I almost didn't make it tonight. It was like running cars off the road. But yeah, it's been a few years, and the little pocket of enthusiasm you all carry is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool deal. Travel all over the country. I don't see it as good as I see it here. Every time I come up, it energizes me. I'm always like, I wish it could be my home group. Just don't know if I could drive 3 hours every week. But if I could, I'd drive and see you guys, because you guys are excited, and you know, and it has some special. You guys, this group has some special meaning to me. I love that you say the set-aside prayer. The first time I ever spoke in an AA meeting with my father present was in this room, and that was a big deal to me. I, at that time, was sober a long time, and my father was in town. I invited him to come hear me speak. I figured he'd say he was busy, but he's like, no, I'd love to. I'm like, I rethink that. I really just put that out there thinking you were busy. And it was interesting to try to remove myself from this room and connect with you like heart to heart, right? Because that's what we do here is we're connecting with one another, my soul to yours. God speaks to us like through love and connectivity, and has very little to do with the words. But I try to remove myself and remove ego and remove any kind of agenda I have and just get real vulnerable and raw and honest with you. And I thank you for allowing me to do that. So to do that with my father in the room, trying to not like change something so he's not offended or whatever, was really big for me. And he had a lot of questions afterwards, but it's another story. And then, of course, last time I was here, Shelley was with us, so that was pretty sweet. And she's missed. So, anyway, my name is Robi Steyer, and I am a recovered alcoholic, and God removed me, nothing to do with it, clearly. God removed me from alcohol and drugs, January 7th, 1997, and for that I'm forever grateful, and I come here tonight to meet with you guys, to share a little bit about my journey. I think we all have a journey to God and a journey to how we found God, and I'd like to just share that a little bit with you, and you know, talk to you a little bit about where I came from and how that connects me and qualifies me with you. A little bit about, you know, my experience in that journey right now, and what that looks like for me, and the hopes that it maybe can help somebody in here. I'll tell you that the journey has been, I'm still new to this thing, right? I'm still trying to figure it out. We just talked about the set-aside prayer. I'm literally saying that twice this morning, and then again while we're sitting here, God, just give me a new experience. Set aside what I think I know. So I come in here with a lot of knowledge of this book. I've been talking about this book for 20 years. I've been working with the new girl across the kitchen table for 20 years. I can tell you this book inside and out, but how can I like forget what's in this book and just live it, right? How can I really live what this book has been telling me? How can I show up in my life today with actions in such a way that just shows you? Back in the day, I mean, when Bill W., when this first came about, they would talk about, we say attraction, not promotion, as if it's some kind of slogan. It's a real deal thing, right? Like, Bill would talk about act in your community and in your church and in your place of business in such a way that people just know you're in recovery, right? And they can come to you. And so how can I show up? I come up every day and say, how can I show up in such a way that without offering you, without coming to you or coming at you, that I can create a safe space that you can come to me and and know that I'm here to help you, and and that's where I always come up with different stories when I'm up here, and I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. But for some reason, the same quote comes to my head every time that I'm here at any podium that says, about showing up in my life. And Bill Wilson once said, and actually I think he stole it from an old saint or something, but we'll let him have it. Bill Wilson once said, your actions speak so loud to me that I cannot hear what you say. Right? And that's been my experience. I can tell you about not having a drink or a drug for 20 years, but if I'm not living a life that shows up with freedom, if I'm still, suffering from untreated alcoholism, which I was for many, many years, and I know what that feels like, and I can go back to that non-recovered. I introduce myself as a recovered alcoholic, and that's because right now, right here, in this very moment, as we stand, I've recovered from a hopeless state of mind and body. I absolutely have. If God couldn't recover me from a hopeless state of mind and body today, I don't know what we'd be doing here. So I've recovered from a hopeless state of mind and body. I don't know where I'm going to be at with that tomorrow. I don't know when my friends are dying. I don't know why I came into these doors of Alcoholics Anonymous 20 years ago and I haven't had a drink or a drug since. It hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of work to do. I know that I followed the directions in this book as close to the T as I possibly can, and I don't get it right. I don't get it right very often. In fact, I feel like I'm just trying to figure out, I get it right, I get it right, I get it right, I get it right, I get it wrong. Oh, I got it really wrong. Oh, wait, I'm going backwards. My sponsor's like, you did, what? and I'm like, okay, I got to get it back on the track. I got to get back on the beam. I got to do some work. So I don't really know how we do this deal in any kind of perfect way by any means. I do know that for 20 years there's been a new girl across the kitchen table from me. I do know that my girls or twin girls are 18 years old, and they've never known a life that they didn't come in from school and say hi to the new girl, what's your name, make a snack, and go out into the other room. I do know that I've never gone through anything in the past 20 years that you didn't get me through, that we didn't go through together, that we didn't stand side by side with. And there's never been a time and never been anything that I've gone through in these last 20 years that helping a new girl and helping her to find God and showing her the truth and taking along this path didn't wake me up again spiritually. And this is about waking up. And I fall asleep, like I've fallen asleep in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I've been at that jumping off point, dead stone sober, like as far away from a drink as I'm ever going to be, suffering from alcoholism. I came in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, so I come in, right, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I came in here, but I come in here, and I'm dying from late stage alcoholism, spiritually and physically, and I come in here, and I figured I was schizophrenic and a couple other things. I diagnosed myself well, and I figured if you guys would know, you'd kick me out, but you let me have the free coffee and you let me sleep on your couch. So I kept coming back, because nobody let me come back around for a long time. And I would come here and I wouldn't say the prayer because that was a little dorky, and all the hugging was a little too intimate for me, and that kind of thing. But the coffee was good, and take me to the diner and let me sleep on your couch, and I was angry. And I had come to that morning in a room in Philly someplace, and I come to, and I'm not sure, I don't know where I lived, but I know it wasn't in Philly. I lived in Florida, I think, at the time. And so I came to in Philly, and I thought from a blackout, and I begged God, a God that I didn't know, I never talked to before, I didn't have a relationship, I hadn't even heard anything about, I didn't even know about Alcoholics Anonymous. I came to and I begged God to not let me die this way. And he brought me to you guys. And you guys welcomed me in. And what happened was, I hung out for a while, and my outside starting to look better. And I started to get some friends. I really thought if I got hooked up and engaged into the fellowship and we went and had some fun, it would just kind of wear on me. I became like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey district chair of social events or something fun, because that's perfect for an alcoholic like me. And I'm like, we're just going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do bowling, and we're going to have barbecues, and we're going to have pool barbecues. I'm still not sure what they are, but we have them, and we barbecue and swim at the same time, and it's fun. And we're gonna do all this really fun stuff. And I'm taking girls to meetings, and I'm loading up my car, and I'm trying so hard to not just jump off the bridge after I drop that last girl off. I'm trying so hard to just figure out how to make it through to midnight. And everybody would tell me, good, well-meaning, loving human beings would tell me, just don't drink, you'll be okay. Go to sleep, come back tomorrow. Just don't drink tonight, you're going to be okay. I don't know how to just not drink. If I ever knew how to just not drink, I wouldn't have ended up there. I'm putting a drink in my mouth when I absolutely don't want it. I'm coming to every day and forcing it when I absolutely 100% do not want to have it. I drink when I do not want to. Every single day, because that's what I do. I don't know why. I don't have a reason. I can't tell you it's some trauma. I can tell you it's who I am. It's in my DNA. It's what I do. I drink. I have to feel something outside of me. I'm so freaking uncomfortable with who I am. From as long as I can remember, I'm so uncomfortable with who I am. I'm crawling out of my skin just because I don't like me. And I can't get away from me. And I'm disgusted by myself. At the youngest age I can possibly remember, I'm so embarrassed of who I am. And I want to get out of who I am. And I'm just so icky inside. And then I'm shoving all this stuff in there to try to fix that. And to try to feel better. And I'm trying to find anything as a teenager, as a young, anything. I don't care if it's sex, food, drugs, alcohol, whatever you got. I got to find something to get me out of this. I got to escape. I need relief. Today, I still need relief. Every now and again, I still need relief. But you know what? I get it from prayer. I get it from meditation. And I get it from hooking up with you. When I feel like I'm getting a little bit, I just sit down with that new girl. I just go to a meeting and talk to that girl in the back of the room. I just call up a sponsee. I call up anybody, somebody I just met at a meeting with plenty of time sober. Is there anything I can do for you today? And that sense of ease and comfort comes over me from that. And I start to grow spiritually and try to get fit again. And that's just my experience with that. So, come in here and I don't know anything about that. I didn't come in here and say, listen, here's the deal. That hole in the soul you all talk about. So I have that. I wanted to do some spiritual work. I really thought maybe if I got real vulnerable and exposed myself and sat down, got real intimate and told you about all my demons in the closet, and sorry to get real honest around that maybe, I could never drink again. So maybe we could sit down and do all that work. I didn't do that. I'm trying not to kill myself. I'm at the jumping off point with 2 years sober. I'm sitting in the room with 2 years sober thinking, I will fucking kill anybody in this room right now. And if that one girl shares about her damn kids again, I'm going to go get the kids. And I'm sitting in a room thinking at any given moment I could lose it. I'm going home going, I can't do it. I'm going to go to the liquor store. I can't do it. Can you imagine I'm sure you've all been there, right? That insanity, you identify with this? That I'm can you imagine? I'm pretty sure everybody in this room, show hands, can imagine that. I'm sitting there, hopeless as I'm ever going to be. Way far hopeless than I was the day I came in. Because the day I came in, nobody expected anything from me. I was an alcoholic that was going to die in the streets. I was a junkie. My mom said she'll just die out there, let her be. Nobody expected anything from me. I came in here, I had no idea what a life without it looked like. I started to experience that. It was miserable. Now I'm completely hopeless. Because now I'm at the jumping off point that the book talks about. I can't see my life with or without it. I keep coming to myself. The Four Horsemen, the book talks about, I would seek the most sordid places for companionship. And as the book talks about, I keep coming to myself. I keep coming to the Four Horsemen with bewilderment and despair. Loneliness would set in. And I'll do that inside the rooms, cold, stone, sober, inside the rooms, Alcoholics Anonymous, suffering from untreated alcoholism, not doing the work, not hooking up, not praying, not working with new girls. I will seek the most sordid places for approval and companionship. I'll seek them in AA for attention. I'll seek them in the back of the room and talk shit on you for attention, to make you feel better for a minute. Did I curse? I'm sorry. I know it's recorded. I try not to. But talking stuff on you, I'll seek it. I'll seek it wherever I can get it. When I'm suffering from that hole, when there's a void there, when I need something to hook up, because I suffer from a disease that lives in my mind that tells me that I need something in order to feel better. Today I know the truth, and the truth is that nothing outside of me can change what's wrong inside of me, that there is nothing outside of me that I can bring to me that's going to fix what's wrong. Today I know the truth, and the truth is it's from the inside. Today I know that the truth is that the only problem I got is an illusion. I'm disconnected from God, that I'm disconnected from you. The book tells me that all my problems will be solved with a complete reliance upon the spirit of the universe, which means I don't need a better job, which means I don't got to get away from my boss. It means it's not my boyfriend's fault, or that I need a boyfriend. It's not any of those things. It is not that my kids are driving me crazy and I wouldn't have acted like that if they hadn't acted out. I don't need any of those things. I know today the truth is that when I'm suffering from my spiritual condition is out of whack and I'm not in the beam, nothing outside me is going to fix that. I know that when I'm not on the beam, right, and the whole name of the game is getting on the beam, right? We talk about it's about a drink or a drug. It's not about a drink or a drug. I don't even know what that conversation is. All I know is that this is about freedom. This is not about not drinking for me today. For me, this is about freedom from it. This is about being able to live my life not bound. This is about being able to be on the beam. Right? The beam, what is the beam? The beam is love. Y'all taught me love. I didn't know anything about it before you. And I still don't know anything about it. You know what my prayer is every single morning? God, show me about love. I still don't know about it. The greatest gift I get from recovery is to know about love, to live in a spirit of forgiveness. For a sick, angry, pissed off alcoholic like me to live on the beam, to live in a spirit, in a space of forgiveness and love, that's a gift. I hear people talking about on the Facebook with the book and the like, oh, my Mercedes, my gift from sobriety. I'm like, my gift is I don't hate you. My gift is I'm going to let that go. Like, my greatest gift from sobriety is that I have learned how to just love and accept and forgive and to move on. That's my greatest gift. My greatest gift is that I can be in forgiveness and forgive you, and I can ask for forgiveness. And I can know that the truth is if I can set you free from some way that I've harmed you so that you can be free, that will free us all. So I get to live on this beam. I get to live there with love. And I get off the beam, like I said, I get it wrong all the time. I get it wrong and I get it wrong. I called my sponsor last night and I said, I think I got it wrong. He's like, you probably did. What'd you do? I said, I got this sponsee and she's going through this thing and I told her this and I should have prayed more about it and gone with my God. I don't know if it was right. And I said, okay, give her my phone number. Tell her you're just an amateur. I said, okay. He said, I'll talk to her. But, that's how we do it. We keep people in our back pocket. I keep good, good, God-loving people in my back pocket. I walk around with a group of women. They're a badass group of spiritual women. They will kick my butt into line any day. And they'll stand there with me wherever we go. And they go with me even to my sponsees when I got to go there with them, when I got to go in the trenches with them, when I got to go to a graveyard or to a crack house or to a funeral with them. We all go together as a family. This spiritual family that we're raising in this community that comes up amongst us, this is the deal, that we're connecting in this way. This is far beyond not drinking or not getting high. My mom got real sick a few years ago, and I went and took care of her in North Carolina. And my mom had to talk to me when I first came around. It took a couple of years, and she'd always say, "We'll see what you got." My mom said to me, I went to make amends to my mom, and I said, "Ma, I was wrong. I had a list, the little list with the bullet points on the index cards, I had a little script, I was going to say exactly what she wanted. Mom, I was wrong and I harmed you." And I was about through that sentence when the door just slammed in my face. I'm like, but I knocked on the door, and she came back to the door and she said, "Robbie, I've been hearing about how wrong and sorry you are your whole freaking life. I got to tell you, I don't care." She said, "But we'll see what you got." She said, "You're really doing this thing, not drinking anymore?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay, we'll see. We'll see what you have. Why don't you show us what that looks like?" But what she gave me was a little ounce of hope. Was that maybe if I showed up as a good daughter. My sponsor at that time, she taught me how to be a good friend. She taught me how to be a good daughter. I did not know. She would tell me, my sponsor would tell me, "Hey, Rob, you know how we help you move? You have to show up and help us too." I'm like, "Oh man, I do." She's like, "Yep. You know how when you need something, you call us, we answer the phone. When we need you, you don't answer your phone." I'm like, "Oh, all right." And she said, "You're going to have to show up for your mom's birthday." My mom for years had been sending me a self-addressed stamped envelope with a birthday card and just would say, "Sign here," and send it back, because I even sent a birthday card. She said, "You have to show up with cards. Tell your mom happy birthday. This is how you're going to show up in your life." So, so again, y'all taught me everything I know. So I go out there and I make amends to my mom. She said, "I don't want to hear it." But when she said, "We'll see what you got," it gave me a little bit of hope. So years go by, we become best friends, and through love and forgiveness and the principles that we learn in this program, and she gets sick, and I go down to North Carolina and I take care of her, and my sponsees took care of my kids. We're all family taking care of each other, and go down there and sit with my mom. I was blessed with the opportunity to sit with her for 10 days while she was on hospice. I was there when she passed away, and I called my sponsor before I called the ambulance, the morgue. I called him. He said, "What's going on?" I said, "She stopped breathing." He said, "Okay, you got to call the phone number. They're going to come pick her up, and then you call me back. I'll stay on the phone until they get there." That's how we hold each other's hand. And they came and got her, and the hospice people came out, and they said, "We know that you're a recovering drug addict. We know there's a lot of narcotics here in the house, and we wanted to come remove them for you so that you weren't tempted in such a time of heartache for you." And I was like, "Oh, there's drugs here." Oh. The hospice nurse said, "Honey, you've been administering to your mom every hour in the hour for 10 days. I said, "I hadn't actually noticed. But they're in the kitchen. You're welcome to them." That's what recovered looks like to me. That's how it shows up to me. That's what freedom looks like to me. I hadn't thought about how to take two and give her one. I hadn't thought about how I could tell the hospice nurses I lost them. I hadn't even had a plan. It was never a fleeting thought to me. It didn't look any different than ketchup or anything else. An alcoholic like me doesn't do that without some kind of grace of God. That's why this is about finding God, because my own willpower could not have said no to that. I could not have made a choice to not use that. That's why the book tells us that we can't stay sober on a choice, on willpower. I need something so much bigger to come down and give me that kind of freedom. It's a pretty cool deal. And what happens is, for me, that's how this program, how you guys show up in my life, how this book shows up in my life, how good sponsorship shows up in my life. And my disease shows up in my life. I hear people talking about that it's in the parking lot doing jumping jacks, and I'm not really sure if I've ever seen that, but or what it would look like. I always tell people, be careful in the parking lot. I don't know. There's things doing jumping jacks. But I do know that for me, my disease shows up in ways that it tells me things like, you've helped a lot of girls lately. You really need to listen to that fifth step. Don't you think you could go out tonight? My disease shows up and says, probably don't have to go to that many meetings anymore. And don't get me wrong, I don't, judge my recovery on how many meetings I go to. It doesn't matter too much to me. I don't, not the arbitrator of your meetings either. I don't know. I know people that go to 7 meetings a week that I wouldn't get advice from if I was dying. And I know people that live in an incredible spiritual program and help tons of people. And I don't know how many meetings they go to, so I don't ask them. I feel good in their company. They seem to be God-driven and God-trusting, and I don't need to know their program. And I don't need to judge my program how many meetings. I know how many, for me, today, I know that the truth is that it's about how many people I'm helping, who am I helping, what fifth steps am I listening to, how am I showing up to help you? Do I come to wake up every morning and say, show me where I can be a vessel, show me where I can be helpful? Every day I wake up and I say, God, I've taken on a new employer, show me, teach me. Remove anything from me you don't want me to have, the essence of the third step. Remove it from me if you don't want me to have it. I'm okay. It took me a long time to do that one. My sponsor, nope, not trying that one. Sponsors that just say to God, God, take away anything from me you don't want me to have. Say, well, okay, but not the boyfriend or the car, and not the job. I need that, and I like the house, and I have a couple friends I don't want to give up. No, just God, take away from me everything in which you don't want me to have. I lost my job and the car and the boyfriend, actually. And God just removed it. And even when God removes things from me today, take it away if you don't want me to have it. The essence of living in the third step, the actual essence of it, living in that spirit of whatever. I try, my goal today is just to be able to live in a spirit of whatever, dude. Like, whatever. I don't care. It's okay. Whatever it is. I'm going to be late for the meeting, whatever. Got a new boss, okay, whatever, let's go with this. Let's look for the opportunities in every situation. Let's see where God's showing me growth. Where's my opportunities in this? I'm good, whatever. Take it away, give it back. Feels like a hot knife through butter. That's living in God's grace and coming to, waking up every morning and God, show me what your will for me would be so that I can help others. What happens is whatever's put in my path must be meant to be in my path. So when I talk about, going to meetings, I know the truth today is not, the fellowship is not going to be my solution. I like hooking up with you guys. I like hanging out with you guys. We have a good time doing it, right? Ron knows we have a good time doing it. Dan's over here. I bring Dan because he keeps me honest. And I can't lie, Dan's known me too long. And, but we're having a good time doing it, right? John Ward's, we're having a good time. We're having fun, right? We went to dancing to some club a couple years ago. Remember that? We're having a good time in recovery. We're doing some pretty cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. This is a good time. I came in here young. I was going to tell you my age, but then you do the math. I came in here very young, and I absolutely thought, what am I going to do? I'm never going to have fun again. We're having fun. We're having a good time. But when it comes to this work, we get serious about it. It's not going to save, that good time's not going to save my life. That good time and hooking up in the fellowship and hanging out is not going to save my life when a thought comes suddenly, because it comes suddenly. And when I see my friends dying out there, it wasn't a long, slow death like alcoholism used to be. It's a sudden thought that they go on. So I take this deal seriously. I'm going to have a good time doing it, but you know what? When it comes down to it, there's a girl in the back of the room that's suffering and hasn't gone through this work. We're going to take her through this work before we go on the picnic. And when I see somebody suffering Alcoholics Anonymous, it's my job, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to go up and talk to you about how I can help you do better. When I see other people gossiping in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's my job to bring love to that situation. And gossiping in Alcoholics Anonymous can turn a lot of people away from this program and this fellowship that saves a lot of people's lives. So I'm serious about not doing that too. I'm serious about teaching the newcomer that's not how we behave in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's not, we show up here with love. We don't go in the parking lot and talk about how many meetings they go to or don't go to. When somebody comes to me and says, I'm worried about so-and-so, that means that I've judged them harshly and I want to spread that gossip with you. I stop it right there. If you're worried about so-and-so, you talk to them. Because we're not here to talk about one another. We're here to put our hand out. When we see, unhealthy behaviors and whatnot in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's our job to show up and be an example. And we take that seriously, and we take this work seriously. But because of that, we're graced with this honor of getting to watch people recover amongst us, right? I don't know about you, but I get to watch men and women recover from the depths of hell and insanity and come to be healthy human beings. I mean, I can't even see myself. And quite honestly, 20 years ago sounds a little bit like a movie when I think about that person. But seeing the growth over the years, again, the time doesn't matter much to me, but it matters a whole hell of a lot to my kids. Right? They've gotten to see that growth. I have 18-year-old girls that have never seen me drunk or high and have been able to watch me grow along this program. And that's an amazing thing to do. And then I have these other girls, these girls that I sponsor and work with, and I see them come in just like me, looking at your feet. I knew everybody's shoes when I came into AA. I knew everybody's shoes because I hadn't looked up in like 6 months. And I would just sit in the meetings and look down at your shoes, and I don't want to look up, and I'm really fearful, but I'm really going to tell you that I'm going to beat you up, and I'm going to try to take in the parking lot, and I got all this anger, and I'm yelling at everybody, and really I'm just a scared and frightened little girl that has no idea what the solution is. And good, well-meaning people just didn't know to tell me. And they might have told me, just didn't reach my ears. And what happens is, I see them come in just like me, and they're scared and they're frightened. And they don't know how to say, I'm scared, I need help. So they act out. And that's okay. I go up to them and say, hey, see, I noticed you've been acting out. You seem a little angry. I found a way that brought me freedom from that. Do you want to sit down and do some work? Promise you, there's some promises in here. It says that you could know peace and serenity. How about that? What a good deal is that? My first sponsor said to me, I promise you, Robin, I can't get your kids back in your life. I can't get your family back. I can't get you a job or off the couches of the people in the rooms and get your own place. I can't get you a car or a husband, but I tell you what I can get you is freedom. And you could know peace and serenity. You could lay your head in the pillow at night. She said, how about if you could just go to sleep at night without getting your kids back? And you could just be okay with that. I said, I would do anything for that. I would do anything in that moment for that. Today, I will do anything for that. I will make hard amends when I don't want to. I will have hard conversations when I've caused harm. And I will walk up to somebody and I will sit down and I will make amends with them because I've got to get free. I will do some tough spiritual work and double up on my prayer and meditation and helping others and that kind of thing whenever I'm feeling uncomfortable inside. because that's what gets me free. And I see these girls come in and they're looking down at their shoes and they're afraid to look up and they're full of fear and they're just like me, and I go over to them, we talk, and before I know it, they're doing fist steps and they're calling and they're so excited. And I got this one sponsee and she called, she says, "Oh my God, I'm in love." I said, "Oh, this is what like sobriety is all about. Like, you're finally in love. Who with?" She says, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just in love. I just did a fist step and I'm in love. I'm just in love with the world." That's what I'm talking about. That kind of feeling's better than anything I got out there. I feel in love with the world. I pull over on the side of the road often and just take it in. Right here, right now. Can't get any better than this in this moment. I sit and watch a sunset in complete peace and serenity. What? Like, that's not something I could not experience that. I am so jammed up all the time, and when I'm doing this work, I can just sit in peace and serenity, sit and enjoy a moment, take it all in, live right here, right now, not worried about the bills or the past, of right here, right now. And what happens is I see these girls start to get that I'm in love, and they're excited, and that's amazing. It's really cool. It's really great. But you know what's even better is that then they see a new girl and they go do that for her. And then I see that generation come up, and I see everybody helping one another. That's the cool kind of stuff that we're doing in here. And you know, I'll tell you what. My life today looks a little like something I could never had asked for. I remember my first sponsor. She said to me one time, "What do you want out of this getting sober and recovery kind of thing?" And I was so embarrassed to tell her. I think about it often. I talked to her the other night. We had dinner and we talked about it. I was so embarrassed to say. Like, I kind of want to get well and maybe like have a family, and you know, my kids are taken away from me, and I thought maybe I could have another family and some more kids, or maybe a job, or kind of wanted one of them licenses so I could not bum rides anymore. I was so embarrassed to tell her because I thought that wasn't for an alcoholic like me. She would just say, "Alcoholics like you die out there." So I'd said, "I just don't want to be physically sick anymore. That's all I want, really." I called a treatment center that morning when I came to in Philadelphia on January 7th, 1997. I came to and I called a treatment center, called 411. I asked for help. I got to a treatment center somehow, and by the grace of God, and I didn't have a friend in the world to call for help. So I called 411. And today I'm just surrounded by good, loving, kind people. I came in on that day. I had a 7th grade education and dropped out of middle school. And in the last few years, I've gotten my GED. I've gone back to college. I'm the vice president of a company. I get to help people. I get to be the person that helps people get into treatment. I get to do that kind of thing. I came in here a motherless child, childless mother. And I have my mom in my life and I have my kids in my life. Today I can tell you that I have all 4 of my kids in my life. The older 2 that I didn't get to raise. I wanted to raise them. I wanted to be a good mother to them. I just didn't have it in me, you know. The judge would say to me, "Robin, you have one more drink, you're going away. You have one more drink, taking those kids away from you. We catch you one more time drinking on the base or not coming home. Those kids are left alone. We're going to take those kids away from you." And I said, "Okay, that's what we're going to have to do. Looks like it's come down to that. We got to go." And I lived with this shame and remorse for a long time, not understanding that I suffered from a disease of alcoholism where I'd lost choice in drink. And somebody taught me that. And today I know that that's the truth. I know that today I suffer from a disease. And my choice is that I want to get up and hook up with you and God. I know that for me to get closer to God, I gotta get closer to you. That's where I'm going to find him. I know how to find that today. So I get all my kids back in my life, and it's not always perfect because I cause a lot of harm, but I make amends on a living basis every day, and I do the best I can to show up. And I came in here, and I was pretty unemployable. I have a pretty cool job now. I came in here, and I didn't know much about how to manage my emotional natures or anything else on that page. But today I have a group of people. I have a sponsor in my life that I've given spiritual permission to tell me the truth to me. I'm given a tool where I can do inventory every night and look at my behaviors and look at my defects. I'd much rather look at yours, but my sponsor keeps telling me look at mine. And sometimes I say, can I just do yours real quick? And we compare notes. But I have a way where every night I can just look at it, be able to figure out where I'm getting off the beam, what's going sideways a little bit, where I need to make it right, where I need to make forgiveness, where I need to pull it together. It shows me right there. And we move on, turn my thoughts resolutely to somebody that I can help, and we move on. It's a pretty cool deal that we have. I hear people saying, like, I don't know how it works. Well, it's right here. It tells us how it works. If you do this program, you do the inventory, you do your nightly reviews, and you upon awakening, you do that. There's a program that will, for me, it's the best shot I got. It's the best shot I got is to follow these directions pretty closely. The 10, 11, and 12, constantly, to me, that's the only shot I got. I'll listen to a fifth step and go to a meeting and help a new girl and give somebody a ride home and give a homeless guy $1, and still, I'll cut your tires, bitch, will come out on me in a heartbeat if you cross me. If I don't do this work, I'm like out of my mind. Like I will just cross like that. Because I'm still a human being, and I have this disease of alcoholism. It's a spiritual disease, right? And if I don't hook up and do this work, I will cut you, just come right out. Like you drink my coffee, and I'll just come right out. Unless I do that work every single day. And thank God for it. Because every day, and as the book tells us, God doesn't make too hard of terms. And keeping up on the spiritual program, which is easy to let up on, but keeping up with the spiritual program, God doesn't make too hard of terms. For me, I don't know about for you, but for me, what happens is when I start to slacken that work, and I get by one day and another day and another day, right? Anybody go to the gym and then not go for 3 days and 4 days and it's then 6 years, 7 years? But you're going to take 1 year off college or one semester, 25 years go by. That's me, right? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to do that today, tomorrow. All of a sudden, I'm professing a faith in which I do not actually live. I don't even believe in it if I'm not doing it. All of a sudden, I'm talking about it because I used to do it and it sounds good. And the truth is, I'm professing a faith I don't even live. Because I got lazy and stopped doing it for a little bit. And now all I can do is share with you my experience of what I used to do. What good is that to you? If I can't share a current experience I'm having with it, if I'm not currently feeling it, and if I'm not currently having a new experience with it, I can't share it with you. And again, I'm that kind of alcoholic that I have to have a new experience with this work and with you and with God every day. I have to have a new experience because I get real bored. I get so bored with it. I'll have a spiritual experience where I am on top of the moon with this spirit. I'm on top of the moon. We went to this cool AA spiritual retreat thing the other day, and driving home with my friends. I'm like, this is the greatest thing that ever happened, and prayers and the Indian, this is amazing. And Sunday night, I finally get home, call up my buddy on Wednesday. I'm like, here's the thing, I'm just so bored. I just really haven't had no experience in a while. He's like, it's Wednesday. 3 days ago, we just had this whole new spiritual. I'm like, I know, I need something new. What else we got? Let's go do something new. Let's go through the book again. Maybe I'll get somebody else to do some inventory with, or, maybe go to a new meeting, start a new meeting, something. But I need to constantly be having these new experiences, because I'm the kind that get real bored with this real fast. I'm also the kind that's like, I've ate salad every day for 10 days. I'm going to have a cheeseburger. So I'm like, I've done this work every day for 10 days. I prayed, I'm going to take a break today. I'm kind of like always wanting a spiritual vacation. Today I know the truth is there's no vacation from it, because that thought will come suddenly. So I always like to talk to you about, if you're new and you're just coming in, or if you've been here a while and just maybe got a little bit lazy on that work. The book tells us it's easy to let up in the spiritual part of this program. We have a friend, I think Mickey says, if the spiritual part of the program was so easy, we'd have as many people at the Sunday morning spiritual talk at the convention as we did at the Saturday night dance. Like, we want to go out to the dance on Saturday night, but we don't want to show up in the morning. And so I always talk about, like, you're suffering from untreated alcoholism inside the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's okay. I think we've all been there. I almost sometimes feel like it's a rite of passage. Like, you're gonna go through some experiences as far away from drink as you're ever going to be. And sometimes I fall asleep a little bit. I know for me, I fell asleep in the rooms for a while, and the problem with me was I absolutely knew the truth. It wasn't like nobody told me. I'd been living the truth for a long time, and I just fell asleep. Again, taking that little spiritual vacation until I was just asleep, repeating stuff to you that I didn't even know. People would ask me to speak, I'm like, I have to do it because they expect me to show up, but I haven't really had a new experience for a while. And it wouldn't exude from me. I couldn't really share that with you because I didn't have it. And I fall asleep in the rooms, and it takes a lot of being humble and a lot of swallowing your pride to just go up to somebody. I went up to somebody with a far less time than me and whatnot, and just said, "Listen, dude, like, I'm suffering. I'm scared. Like, I've been around here a long time, and I don't think I want to be anymore. Like, I don't really like helping other girls. I hate having to talk at the podium anymore. I'm bored. AA's full of a bunch of people that gossip. It hurts my feelings. I can't do all the drama. I really haven't done the work in a while. I'm just lying. I don't know that I want to drink. I don't know that I don't, but I do know I don't want to hang out in AA anymore like this." A lot of time sober. Just listen, can I talk to you and tell you the truth about something? I'm kind of scared around this. Is it supposed to feel this way? This much time sober? He said this. He said exactly this. He said, "It's okay. Let's just look at your nightly reviews and see where you went sideways." I'm like, oh yeah. So about that, what if I didn't have any? I said, did I do something wrong that got me this way? He said, no, let's look at your reviews. I said, I don't really have them. He said, okay, well, that's what we need to do then. And he said, the good news is you can get back on track right away. And that was my experience. My experience is being able to just tell somebody the truth today is really where the strength comes from. When I have this internal being that says that you have to be strong and you have to put on a good face and you have to smile and you have to help everybody else through it. That's your job here. That's my internal way, is just how am I going to just act like I'm okay and keep moving, and to be able to just say, you know what, the truth is I'm scared to death and I'm not doing okay. I need some help. And I know that you're hooked up and you're on the beam. And I like being in your space because it's good energy and it feels good to me. And I know that you can show me the way back on the beam because I'm so far away from it. I don't know that I can get back on it. And I've canceled my talks and I'm not answering the phone for the new girls and I'm scared. And he said, it's okay. Let's just do some inventory right here, right now. Pen and paper, take it out. Can you talk to me about where you're not loving and kind? Can you talk to me about where you've been dishonest? answer some simple questions in this book. We went through it, and don't you know, I feel like I'm in love again by the end of the night. But I'm like, this is good stuff. I didn't know you could do that. You just get right back on like that. I didn't even know. It just works like that. Like, okay, there's some work to be done still, and some amends to be made. Some harm was caused. When I'm sick and suffering and untreated, I'm going to cause some harm, some wreckage inside the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm going to be seeking that validation, that filling that void, seeking attention, companionship, and approval, and act out in a hurricane, a tornado, just running through the lives of others inside here. And because I'm suffering. And I know that the truth today is that the strength is just saying, privately, it doesn't have to be in a group setting, privately to somebody, hey, listen, I maybe fell off the beam a little bit. Could you show me how to get back on it? Those kind of things are what's going to save your life. And this is my experience, and I'm so grateful to be able to hook up and share with you guys tonight and get to know you all, and hopefully if there's anything I can do for you, I'll hang out and give you my phone number or whatever. But it's so nice to be able to come visit you guys, and thanks for having me.